Humankind walked out from Earth as early as several hundred years ago. Humans depended on various technology to colonize other planets. Among the many administrative planets, planet Mid-Thunder was where our story began. In spite of human beings' groundbreaking technology, the rich were still rich, and the poor were still poor. And people despised the poor as usual. In fact, if you were poor, you couldn't even defend your own girlfriend. Tien Hen was one of those poor, born in the gutters. 5 years ago, his teacher, who raised him over the years, enrolled him in Mid-Thunder Academy. And he studied diligently, hoping that one day he would be able to repay his teacher and everyone that helped him. Though, day and night, he gave his all to his girlfriend of few years. And yet she despised him and left with someone else. Her new boyfriend also greatly humiliated him for being so poor. He wanted to slap that bastard hard, but he didn't have the power to back him, nor the courage. Frustrated, he met a girl on the street who invited him to their club. Despite rejecting her a few times, Tien Hen gave in and went to the bar when she said they had a wine that could make him forget all his sorrows. When he finished drinking, he felt at peace, as though he didn't miss her at all. There he met another girl who asked him if she could drink with him. Tien Hen nodded and said that she could drink, but he won't be able to pay for her drinks. She chose to drink with him since he looked like he had given up on his life. When she asked his name, he rejected her, but added that if she answered one question, he would tell her his name. When she told him just to ask, he asked if he was a normal person or an abnormal person. But he didn't let her answer, as he said she must think he was abnormal. And he screamed his heart out, startling the people in the vicinity. And then he went unconscious. The girl caught him in her lap and said in a mild tone that she would know if he was really normal or abnormal very soon. Tien Hen woke up from his sleep and found himself in an unknown place. He also noticed that he was naked, and when he looked around, he saw blood on the bedsheet, making him imagine what crap happened last night. But soon, he saw a projector from which the hologram of the girl he met last night projected herself. She said that when he saw this message, she might already be gone, and added that she had paid all his expenses for living here. She also said she chose him for some reason beyond her control. Before the holographic message ended, she encouraged him not to give up and said if he worked hard, then luck would always find him. Tien Hen thanked her and planned to start his life anew from that day onwards. Then he remembered that he was supposed to go to the graduation ceremony that day. In his heart, other than his parents and the teacher who took him from the slums, his studies at the Mid-Thunder Academy were the most important. He knew he was lucky to have his teacher, who gained him a chance to get into the academy. Over the years, he tried his hardest to excel in his grades, despite his fellow students wasting time playing games and going to clubs for the past 5 years. And when rushing to the academy, he felt that he wouldn't be able to go there in time, so he used a flight technique. The flight technique was imparted by the academy using the chi in the universe as its fuel. However, with the existence of flying cars, the rich would hardly learn flight techniques since it was very dangerous to use these techniques. The Universal Alliance evolved from the earliest governmental system into an alliance today, with the Parliament as the final decision-making chair. The Parliament consisted of upper and lower houses, respectively. Both places were mutually regulated to determine the direction in which the Milky Way Alliance was advancing toward. The military reported directly to the Parliament, and the main military power was formed by 10 great space fleets, each possessing the power to destroy an entire average-sized planet. The commanders of the 10 great warships reported directly to the commander-in-chief and were stationed at planetary territories governed by their respective administrative planets beyond the perimeters of the Universal Alliance. Universal Chi was a cultivation method developed from hundreds of years of research on the human body. Currently, scientists developed metamorphosis, a transformation technique that enables the target population to be merged with the latest instruments, which makes them way stronger than the old class instruments that the lower class people use. Thus, the upper class could undergo metamorphosis and gain immortality, and the lower class could only cultivate near-feudal universal instruments to survive. And Tien Hen, due to being born in the lowest of the lower class, didn't even qualify to cultivate any universal instruments in the first place. But his life changed when a man showed up and asked him if he wanted to cultivate chi, and that man was none other than his respected teacher. After picking Tianhen up from the slums, his teacher told him never to tell anyone about himself, and he added that before he reached 20 years old, he must never practice universal qi on anything other than the flight technique. The little Tianhen at that time could barely understand his teacher, but he promised him nonetheless. And for the next 13 years, he fulfilled his promise and practiced the flight technique diligently. Tianhen arrived at the entrance of the academy and scanned his identity. The robotic voice welcomed him and said that he might be punished by the office for not returning last night. After getting approved, he was let in. There was only half a minute left, so he rushed again but tripped and fell on a pink-haired girl. But he quickly got up and rushed again towards the academy. In the hall, he met his girlfriend. He still tried to talk like a simp, but she, as usual, rejected him and told him that she didn't want to get involved with a guy that knew nothing but the flight technique, and also told him to leave before William, her boyfriend, showed up. Just at that moment, Tianhen's name was called from the stage, so he again rushed towards the stage, wondering why anyone would call him on stage if not for punishment. The nobles thought that Tianhen would be punished on the stage, thus they gloated and mocked him. But the dean comforted him and announced Tianhen as the valedictorian of that year of the academy, and said that the academy would grant him the badge of honor and reward him with 1,000 universal credits. Tianhen was on cloud 9 hearing it, as he felt that all the suffering and insult he went through for the past 5 years in the academy was worth it. The dean again praised him for his hard work and excellent grades, but the noble kids below the stage still mocked him and said he might be cheating. Dean shut them up and said that they would be barred from graduating if they made any more noise, and also said that Tianhen was far better in his studies than the noble kids who didn't even pass half the subjects. He also said that he and the teachers discussed and came to a conclusion that, except Tianhen, nobody would be graduating that year. Hearing it, the nobles started rebelling and said it would hurt the academy's reputation. But the dean was unfazed and was firm in his speech. After the speech, William also met with Tianhen and told the dean that it was unfair for only Tianhen to pass. But the dean rebuked him, saying he had no right to judge Tianhen. But William whispered to Tianhen, saying that flies should stay in the corners eating shit, and if they fly up at others, they will get swatted eventually. Tianhen was breaking down emotionally, for he couldn't understand what he did to William to always be treated like this. At that time, the emotion overflowed, and he felt that the world would be at peace if William disappeared. And just like that, he fainted from an emotional overdose, and William was beheaded suddenly without anyone understanding how it happened. Far away from the academy, a guy was kneeling at a woman and said that he couldn't find the young miss. The woman then said that she had known him for decades, and asked if he thought he could hide things from her. Seeing no choice, he said that young Miss Lanlin went to a hotel and stayed with a guy. Hearing that, the woman became angry and almost cornered the man and asked him about the culprit, and when she heard it was a student from Mid-Thunder Academy, she immediately ordered him to bring the culprit. On the other hand, the guy in question woke up from his coma and remembered the event when William died. And right before his eyes, some unknown force beheaded William. He then saw on the medical scanner screen that his mentality was off the charts. He then began to suspect if William was really killed by him, so to test that, he tried to control one of the flower vases from the room. He failed twice but didn't give up and tried his hardest, and finally he was able to lift up the vase, but he dropped it when knocks were heard from the door. Thus, he pretended to sleep again. He then saw Dean and another guy coming in. They then talked about how William's death was really a tragedy, and Tianhen also added that when blood flowed from William's severed neck, he was scared shitless and fainted, and didn't remember anything after that. They then averted the topic and congratulated Tianhen on graduating. He was relieved that the incident didn't cause any problem with his graduation, and thought that if he could go back to his hometown, then he could get a good job there, and could happily provide enough money for his parents to live happily. When he was daydreaming, the dean took his leave and was talking outside the door. Inside the room, William was surprised since he could hear things from afar after he woke up, and was surprised when the dean said that William's father, the chairman of the Thunderstrike Group, suspected Tianhen of the death of his son, and he might try to take his revenge after Tianhen leaves the academy. But the dean said that if he did that, then he would report him to the Holy Alliance. The other teacher agreed, and said that William's dad wouldn't dare if it was the Holy Alliance. Tianhen now understood somehow why his girlfriend would leave him for William, as he was the son of the owner of the Thunderstrike Group. but he didn't have any clue of what the Holy Alliance was. Soon Tianhen was unable to hear them as he thought it was his hearing limit. William then began thinking of ways to escape the clutch of the Thunderstrike group since he couldn't stay in the academy forever. And even if the academy lets him stay for more years, he would be unable to become stronger if he doesn't venture. And the only solution he had was to become stronger. Just as he was about to practice his cultivation technique, he was surprised by his teacher Damon visiting him. Mr. Damon was the one who first brought Tianhen into the Mid-Thunder Comprehensive Academy, saying Tianhen was extraordinarily gifted. Over the past 5 years, Mr. Damon had sponsored all of Tianhen's expenses at Mid-Thunder Comprehensive Academy, and he was also the person Tianhen respected the most aside from his parents. Mr. Damon then asked if he getting 1,000 universal credits was true. Tianhen nodded and replied that Damon should take those credits as Tianhen owed him a lot for providing him money for staying in the academy. Damon then told Tianhen that he didn't need money, but asked him if anything major had happened to him recently. So he began telling him about the girl who slept with him, and also the fact that he awakened a new kind of power. Then Damon warned Tianhen to never tell anyone about the powers he awakened, and said that it would cause him a lot of trouble if he ever revealed those powers, as space powers are very rare. Although Damon thought that Tianhen had some hidden talent, he never thought that he had spatial power. Damon also assured him that he would be checking out if he could do anything about the Thunderstrike group bothering Tianhen. Tianhen thanked him and asked about the Holy Alliance, and found out that the Holy Alliance was a very powerful organization, so much so that his teacher told him that he shouldn't know anything about the Alliance. When Damon left, Tianhen felt he had already put a lot of burden on his teacher, and shouldn't bother him with the Williams incident. So he left quietly without staying in the hospital. And unfortunately, his fear came true, as a group of masked men brandished their swords at Tianhen's neck, and asked Tianhen to come with them. But Tianhen didn't comply, and used his flight technique to immediately escape. But he was frozen, as he saw a laser cannon aimed at him, not caring about the citizens below. But fortunately, an ice ball that came out of nowhere blocked the laser cannon. But the laser cannon didn't stop and shot with even more power, trying to turn Tianhen and the ice ball into smithereens. But unfortunately, the ice ball swallowed the shot whole, and a man introducing him as a manipulator from the Holy Alliance said that the thugs had violated the laws of Mid-Thunder. The thugs then introduced themselves too, as the special force from the Thunderstrike group. But they were met with a cold reply, as the person from the Holy Alliance said that he didn't care about their identity and told them to leave as he had some business with Tianhen. These thugs had no choice but to leave under the pressure of Holy Alliance, but they swore that they would complete the mission later, if not now. Tianhen hurriedly thanked Mr. Liao for saving him, but Mr. Liao said that he didn't save him, and he needed to come with him. Tianhen was shocked. He now felt as though he had escaped the frying pan into the fire. So he tried his best to run away, knowing it was futile. But alas, he was captured as his surrounding air froze. After that, the man grabbed him and flew him at an astonishing speed, which made his eyes hurt due to the air blowing at his face at incredible speed. Tianhen asked why the man was breaking the law when he was talking about the law a few moments ago. In reply, the man said that they were the law itself. Then Mr. Liao asked if he remembered the girl from the last night. In reply, Tianhen nodded innocently, and then understood that that girl that slept with him must have caused such a big fuss. After a while, he was brought to a big castle where the weather was extremely cold. He was brought to a woman called Controller, as the Iceman described the incident where Tianhen was being attacked by the Thunderstrike group. Then Mr. Liao was dismissed as Tianhen, and the woman became the sole person in that room. Tianhen then timidly asked if she was the one who ordered to kidnap him. But she asked, without giving him a reply, about how he knew Lanlan. Then Tianhen asked about who Lanlan was. In reply, he was brazed with an ice shard as she warned him not to mess around if he wanted to live. Then Tianhen said that he wasn't messing with her. He just didn't know what was going on there. So the women then began talking about Tianhen and his background. Then she began describing the night when he met the girl, and also informed him that Lanlan was the girl's name, and said that he took away Lanlan's most prized possession that night, so he was bound to give her a valid explanation of the incident as to why Lanlan would do that. But Tianhen said that he didn't even get a good look at Miss Lan as he woke up from his drunken stupor to a bedsheet stained with blood, not knowing what she did. Then she asked in a low voice if he was saying that Lan Lan initiated it while ice spikes grew from thin air around her throughout the massive hall. She added that Lan Lan received the best education since childhood and would never do such a shameless thing. Tian told her again that whatever he said was entirely true, and he wasn't even aware when he took Lan Lan's purity. Then he said that if something really happened, then he was willing to take full responsibility as a man. She then replied in a cold tone that Tianhen was overestimating his standing to be able to utter words like bearing responsibility, and said that he was just like a dog to her and would never be able to touch her daughter. Tianhen didn't cower and said that he was a person, not a dog, and he might not be anyone significant, but things might not be the same 10 years from then. She then laughed a bit and said he was getting overconfident with his puny space ability. Though Tianhen was a bit shocked as his ability was exposed, but he was firm and said that as long as he worked hard, then he could turn the puny ability into something big, and said that she might have an exalted status now. But what about the previous generation and the ancestors from 10 generations ago, as they surely weren't big from the get-go? He also asked if he lived for 10 more years, could she be certain of what he would become? She then asked where such a confidence coming from if not that puny space ability. But he replied that the confidence was coming from his strong will and nowhere else. She then laughed mockingly and said that he was a toy to Lanlan. Lanlan didn't do it because she loved him, but it was because she trapped him. He was confused but said that it was too heavy of a price Lanlan paid to him for just trapping him, and added that he would compensate her nonetheless. She then said since he was so adamant about compensating, then she would give him a chance instead of killing him. She then added that hard work would help in the endeavor to success, but powers of comprehension are equally important. So she would let him live for 3 years, and if he could become as strong as level 10 of manipulators within that time, then he would need to perform 3 tasks for her family, and after that, she may consider sparing his life. And if he can't even become as strong as a level 10 with 3 years of time, then she would personally tear him to pieces. Tianhen was a bit stunned hearing her, but then asked that if they were the one who decided the law in Mid-Thunder. She replied affirmatively, and said that everyone knows that Mid-Thunder has a supreme administrative body that handles all military and political matters. But what people rarely know is the fact that the true controller of the Mid-Thunder is none other than her. Tianhen then asked if he wanted to become a 10th level manipulator. Then he should at least know a bit about manipulators. She agreed, and asked when he awakened the space-type ability, and was told that he had just awakened 2 days ago. She then mocked him, saying he didn't even reach level 1 of the manipulators, and was at the lowest level. She then told her that the main controller of everything in the Galactic Alliance was Holy Alliance, which consisted of all powerful special ability users. People might wonder why would Holy Alliance need special ability users when they could just invest on creating big warships to dominate. But what many don't know is a level 20 manipulator could hold off a low-level military vessel on his own, and if all the elders worked together, they could even hold off against a giant warship. He was a bit surprised that humans could hold off against a giant warship without any technology. She then said that he would know more in the future if he lived, and said that he had 1 month to live here to study about the manipulators. Just as she was about to leave, he asked if he could meet Lanlan for once. She turned around and said if she knew where she was, she wouldn't even let Tianhen be near the castle, and warned that he should never tell any soul about what happened to Lanlan that night. Then she left in a flash. When Tianhen got out of the hall, he finally breathed a sigh. Then he met Mr. Liao, the guy that kidnapped him. Mr. Liao expressed his shock as he thought he would be killed. Then he gave Tianhen a gem-like thing which melted into his hands, and Mr. Liao told him that this emblem lets him check his body status anytime he wanted. But Tianhen asked back saying it also should have a function that reports his every action to him. In reply, Mr. Liao said that he just didn't understand how lucky he was to get the emblem, and said that this emblem signifies that he had a special status in the Galactic Alliance, and also informed that if anyone could reach level 5 of Manipulator before age 30, then they could join the Alliance. Tianhen rebuked, saying he didn't want to join the Alliance in the first place. But Mr. Liao said before he completes his 3-year-old promise, Madame Ouya has every right to dictate his fate. No choice. Tianhen tried using the emblem and was surprised as information flowed into his brain as his ability level and his universal key level was vividly floating in his vision. He then asked Mr. Liao why the emblem wasn't showing his space ability level. He was then told that it could only show ability level that are from level 1 to level 36, and it meant that his ability didn't even reach level 1 yet. He then thanked Mr. Liao for the help. Mr. Liao was surprised and asked why he thanked him, his kidnapper. He then said that he would begin his training tomorrow and would make the training absolutely unforgettable. Tianhen laughed and said he was looking forward to it. Later he was meditating in his room, and when he broke his meditation, he saw Mr. Liao staring at him, who also mocked him for not being aware of the surrounding when meditating. Tianhen said that there was no point in being alert there since everyone in the vicinity was strong enough to kill him in seconds. He might as well make use of his time to train even harder. Mr. Liao agreed and told Tianhen to hold his hand. Tianhen was confused and asked why he should held another man's hand. Seeing the situation going wrong way, Mr. Liao said he wanted to show him how the emblems work. So after seeing his stats, Mr. Liao brought him to the training ground. Mr. Liao then asked if he could answer as why they didn't have any protective barrier in the training place. Tianhen replied that was because the strong manipulators themselves are a barrier on their own. Then all of a sudden Mr. Liao hit him on the head, and when Tianhen cried, he said the superior is never wrong, and he must obey every order his superiors say, which is the first rule of Holy Alliance. He then said even though his special ability is lower than level 1, but his universal QE is enough for him to enter the second level of cultivation. So he is going to be taught the second stage of cultivation method, and he would be training there during the daytime for the next month and cultivate during the night. Seeing that he would be imparted a cultivation method, he thanked Mr. Liao. But Mr. Liao said he would be cursing him in the future instead of thanking him. Then he was forced to put on a heavy mech armor. Then he was drained of his chi, which made it feel much heavier. On top of that, he was forced to run laps after laps on the field. He fell from time to time, but he didn't give up and kept getting up. Even Mr. Liao was surprised by his perseverance and will. Then Tianhen drank all the nutritional serum that Mr. Liao prepared, which made Mr. Liao hurt as those were super expensive. And with newfound vigor, he was running again. But after hours he was exhausted and reached his limit, and wasn't able to get up. So Mr. Liao went to check up on him, and found out that the restriction of weight that he put on him was bursting. And soon after, the restriction was nullified, as Tianhen came out of the smoke. He was surprised to see the restriction breaking apart as it never occurred in the past, as their abilities were more than 10 levels apart. When he was thinking, the controller came in saying it was indeed a miracle to break apart restrictions set by someone many levels higher. She said that she didn't expect Lanlin would pick up a treasure while just trying to spite her mother by sleeping with a guy. She then told Liao to increase the duration of the training from 1 month to 3 months, as she expects Tianhen to reach level 3 in the time. But Mr. Liao said that would be impossible no matter how hard Tianhen worked, as it would at least take a year. She laughed and told Mr. Liao to give some holy ether to Tianhen. Again, Mr. Liao was surprised seeing how the controller valued Tianhen, as the holy ether was crafted by the most mysterious unit within Holy Alliance, each of whom were the cream of the crop, as it was a priceless treasure capable of reinforcing the human body from inside, and the Holy Alliance could only make 100 milliliter every year, which costs more than 1,000,000 universal credit per milliliter. He was even more surprised when she told Liao to give Tianhen 10 milliliter. Then Mr. Liao said that a person could at most take 5 milli at a time. Madame Ouya then rebuked Liao, saying there were things he didn't have to know. After she left, Mr. Liao went to the fainted Tianhen and brought him to bed. The first thing Tianhen checked after waking up was his status. He was happy as he saw that his special ability finally upgraded to level 1. Again, Mr. Liao surprised him as he appeared in front of Tianhen without alerting him. Tianhen then asked Liao why he looked mad at him. Then Mr. Liao replied in an angry tone saying why there wasn't any change in his body, even after he was fed 10 milli of holy ether. Mr. Liao was full of resentment for the wastage of 10 million credits. So Tianhen tried to calm him down, saying getting angry wasn't good for his health. Hearing the absurd number of money he had been fed, even Tianhen died. Later he said that the holy ether must have become sweat and evaporated from his body. In anger, Mr. Liao said that his sufferings had been extended to 3 months. However, contrary to what Mr. Liao expected, Tianhen was even more happy and danced in joy. Later, when the controller was told about how the ether didn't change anything in Tianhen's body, she replied, saying it might not show its result immediately sometimes. Next day, when the training was finished, Tianhen asked Mr. Liao if Miss Lanlin was an ability user too. He replied affirmatively, and added she was also the sole heir to the entire Fair family. And Miss Lanlin's maternal grandfather is the strongest amongst the water-type ability users, and is one of the 5 judge elders of Holy Alliance. And her grandmother is the Mid-Thunder's #1 controller. As for Miss Lanlin, she is the most talented prodigy in the history of Holy Alliance, which shocked the balls out of Tianhen. Nonetheless, he asked her ability level, but Mr. Liao said he didn't know, but rumor had it that she was born as level 7. He resented, saying that he was not as talented as the geniuses, as he was stuck in the level 30, and couldn't break through to the next level. Tianhen also was a bit depressed, since he worked his butt off, but was still just at level 1, whereas she was level 7 from the get-go. Mr. Liao then encouraged him, saying there are members in the Holy Alliance who relied on their innate understanding to go to level 30 from level 1. And Miss Lanlin might have chosen him, for she saw his potential. Tianhen thanked him for the motivation. But Mr. Liao said he was just upset since he wasted all the holy ethers. Tianhen then said if that was the case, then he could just drink some of his blood to get the ether drops back. Mr. Liao then said he wasn't a dark ability user and couldn't do that. For the next 3 months he trained under the instruction of Mr. Liao, who always tortured him with his different kinds of training method, which leveled up his ability from level 1 to level 2, and he was close to leveling up to level 3. And it was the day of his last lesson where he had to survive Mr. Liao's attack. Then, seeing no chance of narrowing the big level gap, Tianhen pulled out the laser gun that he got from the mech, and shot at Mr. Liao, but their attack was frozen by the controller. She then told Tianhen that he could leave this place. Tianhen then complained, saying Mr. Liao was trying to really kill him. Then the controller said Mr. Liao was testing his reactions when he was threatened, and she also told him to pack his things and see her in the main hall. After the controller left, Mr. Liao asked how he knew that there was a laser gun in the mech. Tianhen then replied, saying he was the only one that scored best in all the subjects this year. So it's given he knew these mechanical things. Tianhen then asked if he could take the mech with him. In reply, Mr. Liao said he couldn't take anything from there according to the rule. But Mr. Liao gave a weapon that was his personal property, which could also shoot lasers capable of penetrating a 100-degree defense, along with the function of transforming into a short dagger. Tianhen immediately took it without even hesitating. Before leaving, he told him not to slack off his training after leaving, and if he encountered any threat, he should avoid it instead of colliding head-on. Tianhen then thanked one last time to Mr. Liao, then left while Mr. Liao watched his back figure. In the hall, he met Miss Controller, as she said that he must remember the promise, and he is free to come back if he encounters any problem. After everything was done, he left the castle and arrived at the academy after 3 long months. There he met the pink-haired girl that he previously bumped into before the graduation ceremony. The girl rushed towards him, as though taking revenge, but her attack fell on the air as Tianhen evaded, which caused the girl almost fall, but Tianhen caught her. Even so, the girl didn't give up as she aimed at his balls and kicked. But how could Tianhen let that be? So he caught her feet before it could smash his balls. Tianhen was angry, and asked the girl why she was trying to destroy his balls. But the girl didn't reply, and said she missed the graduation ceremony and couldn't graduate since he bumped into her. He admitted that it was his fault for bumping into her, but added that being late didn't have anything to do with the graduation. The onlooker began to gossip about Tianhen as they laughed. She was embarrassed to be defeated in front of so many people. Thus, she cursed Tianhen. Just at that time, the instructor Shui intervened and told him that his teacher, Damon, was looking for him all these times. He then replied that he was fine, and he came to the academy specially to visit his teacher, Damon. The onlooker nobles were surprised seeing the instructor Shui being so caring towards Tianhen. Then the pink girl called instructor Shui Big Bro and told him to beat Tianhen up since he was the reason she couldn't graduate. But Shui refuted, saying according to the marks only Tianhen was able to graduate this year. But the girl rebuked, saying he bumped into her, thus she wasn't able to graduate. Then Mr. Shui replied, saying she could only blame herself for not being able to get passing marks. Thus, she left, saying she couldn't believe that Mr. Shui was defending an outsider. Then Mr. Shui looked at the noble kids that were spectating and told them to scram, which made them leave immediately. Then Mr. Zhu brought Tianhen to Mr. Damon. Mr. Zhu said that Damon thought that he had been captured by Thunderstrike Group, and was trying to find out about Tianhen's whereabouts every day. Thus, Tianhen apologized to Damon for making him worry. They then sat on the sofa and was talking about the things that happened during the past 3 months. Later it was revealed that Mr. Shui and Mr. Damon both was part of the Holy Alliance, and they also knew Madame Ouya, the controller. And they were also pretty powerful, as Mr. Shui was a level 13 fire user, and Teacher Damon was level 13 wind-type user. This revelation made Tianhen beyond surprised. Then they asked about the next plan of Tianhen. In reply, Tianhen said that he wants to make a trip back home, and after that, he would start training his special ability again. Then Teacher Damon said due to space ability being very rare, and there were very few people that could instruct him. At that time, Mr. Shui said that there's one such teacher in the Holy Alliance who had a weird character. But Mr. Damon said that it would be difficult for Tianhen to get a chance to be taught by him. But he also added that he had faith in Tianhen, and they should at least give it a try. Tianhen was also informed that the instructor's name was Mr. Moore, and he was the controller of the planet called Royal Gold. He doesn't belong to any of the factions in the Holy Alliance, but he wields a great deal of authority in the Holy Alliance. And most importantly, he has a very bad temper, and has all sorts of terrifying rumors about him. His teacher Damon was worried, but Tianhen assured him saying he already met a controller before, and there was no reward without risk. And he also added that he would definitely be able to become level 10 before 3 years if he trained under such a great instructor. Mr. Zhui nodded, and told him that he and Mr. Damon are going to a place called Fantasyland. Later, Mr. Damon gave him a ruby-like gem, and told him that he can also come to Fantasyland if reached level 10 with the gem. He also told him it was also a core piece of equipment for members of the Holy Alliance, as it can be used to navigate in the universe, and could also help him reach the Royal Gold Planet. Tien rejected this as it was very precious, and he didn't want to be indebted to his teacher anymore. But he took it in the end when his teacher insisted, then left. On his way out of the academy, he met his girlfriend, Liana, who asked him if he was still mad at her. Tianhen then said there was nothing to be mad about, and said that he was leaving Mid-Thunder City, and he won't trouble her anymore. She then began blabbering about how sorry she was for doing such a thing. But Tianhen said she didn't hurt him instead. She opened his eyes, and helped him understand the truth of the world. Then he bade her farewell, and turned around to leave. But Liana again called him, asking if he was really the one that caused William's death. He replied that what would she do if he was really the one that killed him. But she couldn't believe it since William was way stronger than Tianhen, who didn't even practice his ability. In reply, Tianhan lifted her by the neck remotely and asked if she still didn't believe him. Then he asked her if she wanted revenge, then she could come at him any time. But right at that moment, the pink-haired girl came too with some guys and told them whoever could beat Tianhen would be able to date her. Thus, everyone jumped on Tianhen, but Tianhen beat them up severely. But right at that moment, someone took out a taser and attacked him, which made him paralyzed as the rest was kicking him. Tianhen then threatened them to stop if they didn't want to get killed. But they didn't stop. Instead, the pink-haired whore came towards him and whispered in his ears that if he kneeled and apologized, then she will spare his life. But at that moment, he used his ability as the surrounding air became still and everything went silent, followed by loud screams from the students as their leg was crushed. They ran for their dear life. Everyone was scared and shocked. He then told her that he didn't do anything to her since she was close to Teacher Zhui. After that, he left and flew towards his hometown, Serenity City. The city was also known for being the city of the poor, and the reason for them being always poor was because the Galactic Alliance restricted the residents of the slums from learning any kind of technology. Tianhen's mom was sewing some clothes when his dad rushed in saying the Holy Lady agreed to find their son. They couldn't sleep for the past 3 months as Tien disappeared. But the dad assured the mother that Holy Lady has a communication device that can reach Mid-Thunder, and if things go well, then they might hear about the news of Tianhen tomorrow. Hearing that, Tianhen's mother praised the Holy Lady, saying she was a blessing to the poor. Right at that moment, Tianhen barged in, which shocked them even more. His mom quickly grabbed Tianhen and asked what took him so long. Thus Tianhen told them that he graduated safely and nothing happened. Then his dad asked him if he took any hoverbus for coming back. Tianhen was a bit startled hearing his dad talk about hoverbus and asked how they knew about it. Then his dad told him that it was the Holy Lady that taught them about hoverbus. When Tianhen asked who she was, he was told that she arrived not long after Tianhen last left the city. He also kept praising her, and said she gave the lower classes education for free and helped a lot of hungry people to feed. Then his mom told him to meet the Holy Lady tomorrow, and said they might get along since both of them lived outside of the Serenity City, and also added that the Holy Lady might even fancy him. Tianhen laughed and said that he must thank her, for she helped the family so much. After that, he went to his room and meditated, and was satisfied as his ability leveled up again. Just as he was about to get up and go for dinner, he felt another energy within him that felt like another ability. Then he remembered how Mr. Liao told him that people with two different abilities always died due to their ability clashing with each other. Amidst his anxiety, he heard the door being knocked as his dad told him to have dinner. In the dinner table, Tianhen also told his parents about the 1,000 credits that he gained from the graduation ceremony. But his mom and dad told him to keep for himself, as he might need it for finding jobs in the future. The next day, Tianhen looked at the tall tower where the Holy Lady was standing. He then heard his dad praising the Holy Lady's looks. But all of a sudden, his other ability started acting up again. Everyone panicked and said that they didn't have any hospital in the slums. Then the Holy Lady flew down and tried to inspect Tianhen's condition. When she touched Tianhen, he felt his pain easing. On the other hand, the Holy Lady was shocked by his special ability, and also the fact that he had not one but two terrifying abilities. One ability was deep black, and another was explosive white. Later, she told Tianhen's dad to carry him to her home, and added that her place is quieter, so it's easier for her to treat him. Thus, his dad brought him to her home as, in the room, Tianhen thanked her for helping him. But she replied saying he shouldn't be in a hurry to thank her, as they were destined to be enemies from the very day they were born. Tianhen was shocked to hear those words, and asked what she meant. She then told him that he was born on May 31st of 315 year of universal calendar, which was the same day she was born too. Tianhen was again confused. She then found out the emblem of Holy Alliance within his body. In the meantime, Tianhen felt that the Holy Lady's ability of purity seemed to be contradicting and tearing the dark special abilities in Tianhen's body, which made him feel more pain. She then asked for his name, then said that her name was Lily, the same as lily flowers that radiate light in the darkness. But Tianhen went straight to the topic and asked who let her in the city, and what was her goal. She replied saying she just wants to make everyone happy and content. In reply, Tianhen mocked her saying among so many planets in the Alliance, they at least have 800 slums. And could she possibly make every slum happy? She replied saying she couldn't do it alone, but she could definitely complete her goal with the joint effort of countless people. He then asked if she knew she might face punishment for her deeds from the Galactic Alliance. She replied saying she didn't care. Then she threw her energy at him with her powers, but Tianhen blocked it. Then the girl said she didn't want to hurt him. She was just trying to help him recover. But Tianhen didn't listen to her bullshit, and counterattacked, but was caught and knocked out by the Holy Lady. She then looked at Tianhen's unconscious face, and remembered the words of her teacher, who told her if she found anyone with dark ability, then she must kill that person at all costs, as a life of a person is less worthy than millions of people. She warned that she herself had seen the destruction such a power could cause. Thus, she advised her to kill such a person in the bud. And if she was not confident in her power, then she must try to lead that person to the path of light through her kindness. But Lily couldn't do it when she came face to face with such a man. She then bit her finger and extracted a drop of her blood and marked Tianhen's head with her blood as though completing a ritual. Tianhen's forehead where the blood touched was glowing as his dark devouring power burst out, but she kept it under control with her powers. Then Tianhen's clothes burst open, which tainted the Holy Maiden's eyes as she rushed out of the room where she saw Tianhen's dad, whom she then asked for a new set of clothes for Tianhen. And after Tianhen was given his clothes, she warned Tianhen to use his dark abilities carefully. Tianhen nodded. Then Tianhen asked why his special ability remained at level 3, although his universal key level is much higher. She said that it must be because he got 2 abilities. She also congratulated him for being the first person in history to successfully control 2 abilities at once. He then asked, "Isn't that a bad thing?" She said it's not the same for him. Of course, she was even more shocked than Tianhen, as she knew that Tianhen not only possessed the power that her teacher told to be wary of, but also another equally strong power, which is no less than a miracle to be in a single person.